Hey guys, this is Ange from Angelus Art, and today I'm going to show you how I painted this XXXTentacion backpack using Angelus paints. So let's go! So the first thing that I do is I use 2 to 3 coats of Angelus 2 soft mixed with white, and then I heat set it. I've quickly sketched out the face that I'm going to be painting, and now I've added 2 to 3 coats of beige. The brushes that I'm using for the backgrounds are the Angelus Filbert number 9 and the Angelus Flat number 9. So I'm just going over the beige one more time just to make sure that that's a solid colour, and then I'll start adding the skin tones from there. Okay, so we fast forwarded a little bit here. I'm using a very fine a 3 round brush. I've added some of the skin tones, which the base coat is then firstly saddle. I've added a few highlights here and there just using white, and I'm very gradually building up the skin tones using a combination of saddle, light brown and dark brown. I'm using black for the eyebrows, and I'm also adding some highlights with white. I've added some grey onto the headphones, and for the neck area where it's getting darker now, I'm adding a dark brown shade. Just a few different washes really of that, just gradually building it up, and then to the very darkest shadows we're using some of the black as well. Okay, so a few more highlights here and there just with white. And then I'm moving around the face, adding a few more darker areas, around where the tattoo on the side of his face is going to be, around his nose. And again, just very gradually building it up really with quite a wet brush so that it's quite transparent. What I find is that I like to build up the darker tones kind of gradually, because you can always add more paint, but once you've gone too far it's difficult to kind of go the other way. So that's an important tip really to bear in mind. With the lips, I'm using a combination of Georgia Peach, Autumn Red and Beige, and again, like the face, I'm building up the colour on the lips really gradually. For the darker areas, again, I'm going to add a little bit of saddle maybe, and also probably some dark brown here and there where it's needed. Again, going back to the lips with a few highlights, and then going around just to define them a little bit more. Don't be tempted to rush either, just build them up very gradually using your different tones to build that colour up layer after layer, and then they look more realistic that way. Again, I'm adding lots more highlights as I go around, a little bit of work now on the chest with some more saddle. And I'm adding a little bit darker now onto the hair, a little bit more work on that, and then I'm adding some highlights with some white. Just grey on the headphones now. More and more highlights again now. It really does help to make the portrait stand out. And I'm working now with some more saddle onto the chest area, just blocking that in, and gradually going to go darker with the light brown and then the dark brown as well. As with the face, I'm also trying to make sure that I'm concentrating on which direction my brushwork's going into, so you can kind of give the illusion of that the curvature around his neck area and his chest, and it's very much the same with his face as well. Just try to be conscious of what direction you're going in with your brush strokes, because it really does make quite a difference to that. I'm adding more darker brown in again gradual washes, and now I'm doing a little bit of work of where the neck tattoo is going to be. I'm just gradually building up those colours very patiently, just build them up that way, and then you don't go too far. Lots more highlights again, and then I'm also going really dark with the black in different areas, adding some more highlights to the hair. and defining his jawline and the area where his hair meets his neck. I'm just defining the area around his shoulders, just cleaning that up a little bit with more of the sapphire and the light blue, and I'm adding some of the light blue and some white reflections onto the earphones now. Again, I'm using quite a wet brush because it enables it to be a much more, it's more like a watercolour effect, I guess, that I use as I'm building up the colours. Okay, so I'm adding a few of the highlights now onto the earphones just to make them look more realistic. And just a little more work to go around some of the darker areas again, just to redefine them. And I'm adding more and more highlights again around the face, just going over any areas that need to be made a little bit brighter. And then I'm working on the hair, which is just a black and a grey mixture really, and then some white highlights. More highlights again, and I'm also going over some of the darker areas of his face just to add a little bit more definition there too. Just in case anyone's wondering as well, I use an iPad to put my reference photo on to work from, and I find that works really well. So if you don't do that already, that's something definitely to try. So as far as the portrait goes, I'm almost there really. I'm just adding some final touches here and there. Some more highlights around the strap of the bag that's over his shoulder and around his face, defining the edges, and now I've moved on to the bottom of the bag where there's going to be the same kind of colours, the same theme, and I'm going to put some custom lettering on there too. I've just freehanded that and just used black, and I'll add a few more bits and bobs around the bottom of the bag, and then I'm pretty much done. As always guys, I'll add a full list of products that I've used into the description of this video, so you can go back and take a look at that, and if you'd like to paint along with me, then feel free to do that. And it's all done. So the final step is just to protect it with a top coat. So I've added that by brush, just a couple of thin layers of that, and then I've heat set it again. And there's the finished bag. I really hope you like it guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to see more of my custom artwork, then just click like and subscribe, and that would be awesome. Thank you guys, bye.